Well, hello. Here I am in the glare of the sunlight coming through the kitchen window. Um, Almost like holy rays. Well, I'm here to show you how to make Lockshen pudding. What is Lockshen pudding? Well, according to my heritage DNA, it's to do with me being 94.5% Ashkenazi Jewish, 4.6% Middle Eastern, and 0.9% Sephardic Jewish North African. There. So here's the thing I got to show you where I'm actually from, where all my people were from, that is, after they left Israel at the Roman occupation. And apparently those who lived in Persia were there since the Babylonian captivity. So I have a very long background of persecution, perhaps we could say. And this brings me to today and how to make Lockshen pudding. Lockshen is basically the only word I knew until my mother told me it was actually vermicelli or noodles, and in English. And of course, English is what we speak. And having been born here, and my parents having been born here, fortunately for us, and I learned how to make this wonderful, delicious pudding very early on as a young teenager in my grandma's kitchen. My grandma, who always said bless him, God bless him, after the name of Oliver Cromwell was mentioned, came from a family of Jews who came back to England after being invited by Cromwell in 1656. And her family lived here ever since, albeit in the East End of London near the docks. And there, of course, she mixed with all the new people that came in, mostly Jewish immigrants who came in from Eastern Europe. And what an amazing situation that must have been. Vibrant community at the beginning of the 20th century. Now, what I've got here, having told you all about that, also, of course, being Jewish, everybody ate what we call kosher. That was a given. There wasn't any explanations, or I didn't know any different, actually, until I was a middle teenager and I began to understand that other people ate different food to me or looked on food differently. And this recipe is very good for, actually, as it turns out, vegetarians. I have a daughter who's a vegan, and so the milk, in fact, that's included in this recipe is substituted either by water or a milk substitute like a soya milk or an almond milk or something. I know that my friends have asked me for a recipe, and of course, as I said, my grandma taught me, and like most Jewish grandmas, she taught me by showing me, and there was no recipe, so I thought it would be fun to sort of pick up a long Megillah of a thing saying, oh, this is the recipe, but of course it would be blank because I wouldn't know what the recipe was, because I was just taught how to make it. So I'll teach you the same way. Here we have the Pyrex dish. Okay, it's this size. You'll see I've got everything covered up. That's the usual thing as well. I think, because of the kosher, the kashrut laws, Jews are paranoid about keeping their food clean and away from any contamination. God forbid there should be a fly. So I've got everything sorted out here and covered. And here we have the Lockshen. This is Manischewitz, and it's kosher. Now, I know that some people have got a thing about kosher, and they think it's all about slitting animals' throats for food. The way we butcher animals to eat. And a lot of us don't eat animals, whatever way they're butchered. And I would like to point out that in the ordinary run-of-the-mill abattoirs, there is so much animal cruelty going on. Never mind about killing them anyway, but prior to the animal slaughter, a lot goes on that is not publicised, and people don't care as long as they get the meat in the end. And people who have a go at people who slaughter their animals in a particular way, oh, they don't stun them. There are lots of animals that you eat that have not been stunned. It's very hit and miss, and they get killed just the same, and they get their innards slit open regardless. So I know it sounds horrible, but that is the truth. And you know, as a minister for the Christian spiritualists, I have to say I serve the truth. So however hard it is to stomach, literally, that's the case. So don't be frightened by the word kosher, or even, dare I say it, halal, because no kosher butchers, as far as I know, have ever been done for animal cruelty. So we'll have to just leave it like that. Also, Kellogg's, for instance, who do cornflakes, they also have kosher, K, on their pack, and that's because they've got the largest manufacturing plant in the world, and that's in Manchester. And if you see KM, that is Kellogg's Manchester, and it's kosher Manchester, in fact. So they have 10, would you believe, 10 rabbis overseeing the production of their cornflakes. That is to make sure there's no meat products that go near the vegetarian produce, because it wouldn't be kosher then, because you're not allowed to eat milk and meat at the same time. It says it in the Bible, you shall not seethe a kid in its mother's milk. In other words, you can't eat the meat and the milk that feeds the animal at the same time. So there you are, that's the explanation of that, the basics. So here we have Manischewitz, which I like, fine egg noodles in the English. My Buva, my Polish grandmother, always had great problems with English, and my Dutch granddad didn't have much time for that. And he said, you've been in the country long enough, you should know the language. My Buva used to cry there, and that was usually at a meal time when we all got together for meals. So here we have, and this is 200, it tells you 250 G, okay? So you sprinkle that, that's handy, isn't it? It's a handy measure. Sprinkle that into your Pyrex dish. You've seen how big that is. I couldn't tell you the dimensions. It's like that, okay? It looks like that. And then we get our mixed fruit. Now, you see this is a mother's love. When my children were small, they didn't like the bits, as they called it. So I used to get the mixed fruit. And here we have the essential Waitrose mixed fruit. And I would pick all the bits out. So I still do it, you know. It's a habit of a lifetime. And then you get about this much. Okay, this much mixed fruit. You see that? Goodness knows how much. God knows how much it weighs. There you are. And then you make sure you wash it, rinse it out. You can do it in this little Pyrex bowl. They're wonderful Pyrex. And you swill it around, and it takes about 3 washes. And then you tip out the water by putting your hand over like that. Okay, so no big things that you have to do. And then you put it, you sprinkle it into the mixture. It's just it's where you put the Lockshen. It's all gone in. Okay, don't forget it's my special recipe. I'm gonna put this back in the sink. All right, behind me. Right, that's that gone. I take the kitchen towel, which no kitchen should be without kitchen towels. There we are. And then we get the sugar. This sugar, Tate and Lyle, is fair trade and much favoured by Her Majesty the Queen. You see it's got the royal appointment on it. And it is also kosher. Okay, there. And nothing wrong with that. Now, I don't know how much sugar you put in a weight, but here it is in a spoonful, like any spoon you've got at home, and you sprinkle. That's 1 spoonful on that half. And then you do another spoonful, like a level spoonful, okay? Just a level dessert spoonful. Nothing too big. You sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. There you are. Do the top up again. Put it back on the plate. And then you get this, which is mixed spice. And this, of course, is a very Jewish name, Schwartz. You know, Tony Curtis, who I loved. his name was Schwartz. And a few others too. Now, how much to put in? Right, I'm putting about this much, you see? About this much. And then you go like this. Rub, 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 rub. Shall we put a little bit more in? Just a little. Yeah, just a teensy weensy bit. We don't want to overdo it because it could get bitter. Right, so we've put the sugar, the mixed spice, the fruit, the Lockshen of course is the main ingredient, and then we do like this to mix it all together. There you are. There. So when you think it looks pretty enough, you know, when the fruit and everything is dispersed through it, there we are. So you don't get sort of clumps of fruit and nothing in the rest. It looks like that, if you can see. There. And then you get the milk, which Kathy has put back in the fridge, so I wouldn't get it sour. I'll open the fridge. Oh, don't let her know I opened it like that. I'm not allowed. It comes from the bottom where there's a thing. Here we are. Right, this is your milk. It says it's got 2 pints in it, I think. 1.136 litres or in the proper 2 pints. So we'll see how much we put in to cover. Here it goes. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle the milk until it covers the Lockshen. So I think about that. So that leaves about this much. Can you see?